Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Ringwood South. And I know we started a few minutes early, but we're just going to hang on till 9 o'clock. I'm just going to see who's around and just make sure everything's up and running. And then we can get on with the stream. So, right, let's make sure we are all sorted and okay. Hello, David Atkins, and welcome to the stream. I just want to make sure that the screen is clear. That's all. I thought it looked a bit blurry. Hello, Graham, Alex, and welcome to the stream. So I just thought we'd start just to sort of see who's around. Chris Dodd, good evening. Welcome to the stream. And today is not going to be the sort of advertised one that I was going to do. I'm going to keep this one relatively short and relatively light because basically I've done a lot of work on the railway today, so just to try and keep it going, and I've got quite a lot of things done today. I'm at the middle of trying to. Hello, Napton Hill Railway and Graham, Alex, welcome. And like I said, all I've been doing really today is because I've been putting off a job for some time, which is to separate the boards. And so what I'm going to be doing is basically I'm rewiring at the moment. Gary Trevor, welcome to the stream. And yes, I am still around. yeah, I'm still here. Things carry on as normal. And basically what I've been doing is I've been working towards trying to get things separated. And so basically I've now more or less figured out and happy with a track plan. As happy as you can be, but I guess there'll be alterations along the way at some point. So I'm just keeping an eye on the time. So it's just coming up to, well, according to my clock, it's nearly 9 o'clock, but I think it's still got about 5 minutes or so. But yeah, I just want to keep relatively light and short today as well. So today we're just going to be, hello, Jeff Lizote, welcome to the stream. My apologies to anybody if I don't get the pronunciations quite right. Some of the words, some people are easier to pronounce than others, so my apologies if I get it slightly wrong. And how are we all tonight? Are we all good? And can you all hear me okay? Yeah, well, yeah, I'm still modelling. It's like I said before, it is therapy for me, and it's something that I enjoy doing. And good, David. And it's something that I get a lot of pleasure talking to you guys. You know, because I like the interaction with all of you, and so it's good to just talk. And like I said, it's sometimes for me, I find it sometimes difficult. Hello, John Warner. Welcome to the stream. Right. Okay. Well, that's DJing. Is that right? Great, Alex. Right. Right. I'll have fun going to see the soap girls soon. So yeah, so basically I'm still doing it because like I said, it is therapy for me and I enjoy doing it and I like the interaction, and I find it hard sometimes to put Wilbury Castle, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining me from your grand castle. So today, like I said, it isn't actually the advertised stream that I was going to do. I'll tell you what, I was going to do anyway, and then if you want to join me later on when I start doing it, then you can do it. So the original picture. Hello, Scott Malcolm. Welcome to the stream, and welcome from Canada. So my original stream, I had a picture of my original station building, which I had from Beringer, and I gave this a bit of a makeover. Fred, welcome. Yeah, you do make me laugh. I hope you. Oh, I hope we're back. Right. Okay. Are we still with me? Hi, Scott Malcolm from Otero. Right, okay. I've just had a bit of a glitch with my internet, so if it dies, then I'll try and reconnect. But if it becomes too much of a hassle, we might have to abandon the stream. But it won't be because of the last time. But just bear that in mind. So don't take it personally if the stream suddenly just goes kaput or something. I've been pretty good with my internet, so hopefully, touch wood, somewhere will be good. Right. So what I was going to do is, unfortunately, this building, as much as I love it, is too deep for the platform. So I was going to make a low relief version of this building using card and plastic card. And hello Norbert Roll, welcome. Greetings from Germany. Thank you for joining me from Germany. So what I was going to do is make a low relief version of this. Hi Philip, welcome to the stream. No, you're not late. No, you're not. I started a few minutes early, so I'm just having a little chin wag, and then after we're going to start. So that was what I was going to do, and I'm still going to do it, but I'm not going to do it tonight. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about mini projects. Hi Strathmore Road Junction, and welcome to the stream. So we're going to talk about some mini projects that we can do using various bits and pieces. And some of the pieces that I did show you from my last stream that I got from Poundland, we'll be using a few bits and pieces. Some of it is a lot of it's pretty basic. Some of you will probably know. I can't do that thread because it's resin, and resin is quite difficult to cut, and it's also because it's because of the way it's made, it's not good for you to be cutting that, and I'm not exactly sure whether also it cracks or not. So I was going to make a low relief version of it, but hey ho, it is what it is. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the scouring pads. Yeah, because I think it's porous, or I can't remember which way around it is, but basically if it gets into your system, it's not really good for you. And I wouldn't want to ruin the building because it's such a nice building. So the first little job that we can do is just make hedges. That's your hedge there. Oh, just a scouring pad, and you just cut a strip off of that. And that's something that you can do, but obviously it doesn't look like very much like that. It doesn't look very nice. Hi Kev Bygrave, welcome to the stream. So what I tend to use, and you can, there's this thing called foliage, light green foliage. Peter Shaw, thank you for joining me. Yeah, well, Anthony, all of this stuff here is literally, a lot of this stuff here has actually been salvaged. Well, this I got from Poundland, Fred. So I'm sure your wife won't mind if you spend £1. If not, just don't tell her. All this stuff I salvaged from Behringer. All of this stuff here I made out of card, which is something I can always show you today, like as a demo. But I just wanted to show you a few bits. These are like all mini projects that you can do. This is like a fine leaf matting, and you can basically, to make your hedge, you could just like put it over, and you've got a nice little hedge there. You can just spread it out thinly and all the rest of it. So that's one thing you can do with things like scourers and stuff like that. Hello Portobello Junction, welcome to the stream. So that's something that's fairly cheap, fairly easy to do. And then we've got stuff like card and matchsticks, my love of matchsticks. So these are just bog standard matchsticks that I got. These I got from Poundland, and basically what I've done in the past is I'll demonstrate for you. Let me see if I can put this camera down a bit. I'm a bit wary because my camera sometimes goes. Is it going to hold? Cheryl Henley, thank you and welcome to the stream. Right, okay, so hopefully this will survive. Oh, there always is on my channel. I attract the quality people I do. So welcome everybody. And so this is a jig that I made for my warehouse windows. And welcome Willow Vale. And just something that you can do. Cut a little matchstick off. You can put it on your window, which is what I did on my warehouse, and then you've got like a little lintel. So you can cut loads of them up. Another thing that you can do with matchsticks. Hello Andrew Clegg, welcome to the stream. This is my old platform. Chris Dodd, welcome. Sorry, this is my old canopy, my apologies, from Behringer, which I salvaged. And on the top, you might be able to see there's some ribbing. That ribbon is matchstick, so that gives it a bit of detail. This was made out of card, so this is something else that you can make out of card. You can see that it's just a flat piece of card, and then you folded the tabs over, so you've got somewhere to put the ends and the awnings. And then after, I cut a strip of wood to put the lights in it. That's how I lit it originally. But like I said, that's kind of something that's very kind of easy to do. Miss Riff Raff, sorry. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you some things that you can do. This is all scrap card that I'm going to use, and this has all come actually. This, you can see it's all green. It kind of blends into the yes. So basically, scrap card I'm just using just to give you a demonstration, but it all comes from this big piece of card which I got from Hobbycraft. So and it's just been slowly but surely it's been whittled down. So something that you can do is if you're wondering how to make card go round corners, which is some people do, and you kind of wonder how you get the card to go around corners. You can basically score it, and like I said, I'm not gonna do this properly because at the end of the day, this is just a test piece. But this is just to give you an idea if you want to have a go. Don't use a new when you're scoring. Don't use a new pen, new knife, I should say, because otherwise you'll go right through the card. You just want to be able to score it and then bend it. And then obviously when you try and bend it, it's rigid. It won't go anywhere. Hello David Jones, welcome to the stream. And you can't bend it because it's rigid. So what you need to do if you want to go around corners is you just cut some notches out of these things. And then we'll just leave it like that. Cut that bit off. Right, so that's our piece, but now you can bend it. You can get it around the corner because you've got these tabs. We've cut some grooves into the tabs, and that makes it be able to go around the corner. So these are ways that you can No, you don't have to smoke to get matches. You just have to be over 18 or over 16. Are you over 16, Fred? So now you can bend this card and you can make it look like that. So now I would use my glue gun, but I forgot to plug it in. So that's a bit silly. But hello, Dave's Videos. Welcome to the stream. So that's what you can do to get round corners. Now we're just going to put a bead. I'm not going to be too specific about this. Like I said, this is only just a test piece to demonstrate being able to get round the corners. Now, so this is just yoo-hoo. Now what I've found with this is that I don't know if any of you guys have subscribed to Rob McCrane over at Farland Howe, and thank you for the comment, Dave's Videos, about my London video. Thank you. I really enjoyed it yesterday. I had a great time. And Zoob, welcome to the stream. Zoob, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Big hand for Zoob, everybody. He used to be my ex-boss, but he's a very, very close friend of mine these days, and he's just absolutely amazing. I love him to bits. So everyone say hi. So as you can see, this has got Yoo-hoo on it, and it's taken a little bit of time to go off. Now Rob McCrane was using he's got a glue gun that he's got, and if you use a glue gun, this actually sticks instantly. Yeah, well, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's quite a few videos that went up, and yeah, so I guess Strathmore, you know what I'm talking about. He goes through a lot of stuff where he basically uses that glue gun, and glue gun is probably the best thing to use if you want to get round the corner, because with this, with the Yoo-hoo, you have to kind of wait for it to go off. So, and it takes a little bit of time. Hello, Dundee Row. Yeah, you can use rocket card glue, but to be honest with you, Dundee Row, I don't like rocket card glue, because what I found when using rocket card glue is that if I don't use it in a little while, it goes off and it gets clogged up, and then afterwards you can't use it. And the amount of times that I've had to sort of end up binning it, yeah, it's expensive as well. Now, as you can see, it's actually the Yoo-hoo's starting to go off, and like I said, you can see what I'm trying to see, but you can see how it's gone around the corner there, and how you can bend it around by using the tabs. Now, if I'm going to try and bend the camera slightly towards my layout. Okay, David, well, thanks for joining. And I'm going to try and bend it towards the layout slightly to see if you can see can you see the curve, what I've done there, the curve in the wall here. I don't know if you can see it. And basically that is the same technique as what I've just literally showed you. And then basically what I've done is, obviously my curve's slightly different. I've put the tabs on the outside, and then I've put the scenery over the tabs so you disguise it, and then you can put bushes and whatnot. So that's what I've done here on the layout, and then I've clad it in plastic card. So you can these are sort of things that you can do with card. And I go through loads of card, so much card, like it's unreal. But card is cheap, and card is a good way of learning to scratch build, because it's so cheap. If you make a mistake, so what? You can just chuck it, bin it, whatever. It's not going to cost the end of the world. And one of the other things things to do with card, and also to bear in mind when using card, is with card. Again, this is just scrap card. I'm not going to make anything out of it. Depending on what side of the card, because obviously you've got the black side and the white side. There's the black and there's the white. And obviously when you're making your building, if you want sort of like the fascia to be a certain colour, you have to make sure you realise what the how you want to score the card. So, for example, if I just do that. So now, say this is the outside of the building, and now you want to create a bit of a definition. So let's just say we want to. I'll show you what you mean with my. So if I show you with my station building, so we've basically done this corner piece here, but now I want to go back in. So I'll show you how you can do that. So now our building, so you kind of got a corner of a building, right? Now, if you want that black to go back out, you don't score it on the outside because you'd be scoring it from the wrong side. So you have to score it from the inside. And I'll show you that now. And then you kind of got that going on. So if you imagine now that's the front of the building and you've got the turret there on that corner there, and then you've got the edge there. So do you see what I mean? So that's how you kind of got to work out when you, sometimes if you want that card to be the same colour all the way around, you have to make sure you have to work out how to score it. So on this side I scored it on the inside to make sure that it folded out. So that's something else if you want to just bear in mind when working with card and making a building. But I'll show you this when I actually make the low relief building because you'll see it. But I don't know if you can see the sort of profile. I don't know if that profile kind of fits, but you can sort of see. Let me see if I can show you sort of what I'm going. If you can see what I mean. So that's something else you can do. What I wanted to show you also is what I was going to show you something else, wasn't I? Oh yeah, where's my piece of wood gone? I had a piece of wood here. Here's my piece of wood. Okay. So let's just say my ruler here is my track. This is my platform here. So you can do the painstaking laborious job of basically doing what I've done, which is matches and all the way around, and you get a lip. But we're going to use these extra long ones. That will speed up the process slightly. Folded brink detail. Yeah, you can. Hi Alan, welcome to the stream. Don't worry. Today we're just playing around with different ideas. Now this is my Poundland glue. So we're just messing around with scrap pieces of card and scrap pieces of wood just to sort of give you an idea of some of the techniques that I use. But obviously right, so that goes on like that. I'm only doing the long ones. Usually I'd use the shorter ones for this, for the platform edges, because so you can get the individual cuts between the actual individual matchsticks, but it is more laborious, it has to be said. Forgive me, I'm not monitoring the chat at the minute. Yeah, it can be a bit watery, but then it saves you having to dilute it. So let's have a look at this. It's off to B&Q tomorrow. Well, it'll be quieter. Should be, anyway. Right. So all of a sudden, on our platform, we have a lip. So you've got that nice little trim, and if I just show you on the end. So that's how I do my platforms. I find it, I like doing it like that. And then after, what I do also is I've got some plastic card here as it goes, but you can add some plastic card to trim it, which is what I've done. Or Or if you want to go for the whole concrete look, you could basically that's probably a bit much, but never mind. So this is what happens if you try and don't let things settle. But you can make, instead of buying the expensive Pico, end pieces like you do. I mean, like I said, normally I'd be a bit more sort of careful about doing this, because usually what I would do is put it into a bowl. In fact, I'll do that now just to show you. And I'm just going to just do it in half. Just, it's not going to be perfect, because at the end of the day it's just kind of like just to demonstrate the point. Like I said, I'm not really going to sort of be too careful about the lengths or whatever, because it's just literally... Vladimir, welcome. Welcome to the stream. So, those expensive end pieces that you buy over from Pico, which you get like, I don't know, maybe 4 pieces or 4 stretches. This is more laborious and it's more time consuming, of course. Most definitely. But you could be watching a film or something like that, watching a bit of TV and catching up or whatever. But if you just say we're trimming this down, if you see what I mean, you can sort of see where I'm going with this, where you can sort of see it's like a like the concrete pieces that you could do. So instead of buying the concrete strips from Pico, you could just do that and then trim it to suit. Then you could be spraying this up in a concrete colour, weather this up, and it's a lot cheaper than buying the end pieces from Pico. Because I've used them before and they're good, but they are expensive. And so if you, this is just like this is what I do sometimes. So we're going to put that to one side, but like I said, that's what you can do as a platform. And this is what I do. Something else that I've been doing that you can do with card is, let me show you. Where's my box? I did have it's probably going around. Any scrap pieces of card that you have, don't worry about it. You can use them all, because this is copper clad stripping, and I'm going to be using this to join the boards together. So if you're joining boards, hello Steve, welcome to the stream, and Steam Model Railways, welcome. You can use the copper clad stripping, cut it into strips, and this is the length of a sleeper. I don't know if you can see it. It's really tiny, and basically it's been glued onto a piece of card. And what you do then is then slide it underneath, because you need that piece of card just to give it the height, and then you glue this down onto your board joints, and then basically that will secure. Then you can solder the ends of the tracks to each, to make sure that you've got a good solid connection between the 2 board joints. Because if you use the plastic ones, they then tend to move about and misalign the tracks. So that's what you use card and copper clad sleepers for. So I've got quite a lot to do, because I've got quite a few boards to do at the moment. Also, somebody spoke to me about these things. I'll take it out of the box. these are the plug and play electric connectors, and basically they're like chop blocks, but they're just quick release ones, and you've got a male and a female side, and they just go into one another, and you just literally, when you want to separate the wiring, you can just literally separate them and unplug them rather than have to unscrew them all the time. So you only screw just one end. So yeah, so that's kind of what you can do with those as well, which is what I'm going to be doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to give you a bit of a. Let me give you a bit of a layout update, guys. Oh, it might go a bit funny. Let's see if this goes around. Right. Okay. So let's start at this end. So all of this stuff here, I hope the stream doesn't go all funny on me, has all come from Behringer, my previous layout. Basically the rock faces are what I salvaged from the rock face that I had at Behringer. And all this vegetation was also salvaged from Behringer. All the trees were salvaged from Behringer. And this is just card, again using the same techniques as on the curve, where basically I just made it out of card originally, and then what I did is I just created the tabs to hold the height and create the height. For the road, what I did is I had some ready-made filler. I added some paint to it. I mixed it all up, and then so the filler was actually fully coated in the grey paint. So that means that if this should chip, it's not going to go white underneath. It's just going to go grey because it's fully mixed in. Thank you, Cheryl. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I don't lose anything. So this is my curved wall that I made just using that technique that I just showed you. And so that's what I've done here. And the tabs are actually, you might be able to see them, they're here, but they need another layer. So they're all hidden under here. I don't know how this is going to work now because... Right, so now let's go over this side, if I can stretch over without killing myself. So now the turntable, that's what I've been working on all day today because it's been so problematic to get it to level and to work properly, but I've now got somewhere with it. And because now there's no end pieces. The shed has now been moved to this end, and the wall has been brought over all the way along and around. So that's kind of gone all the way along here. All the way along. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but the building on the right I've toned down and weathered and experimented with. The building on the left is one that I've left as is, and basically I just wanted to see how good that would come out, and I'm quite happy with it actually. I think it looks much better toned down than it does with that side. As we come along, that's one of my new recruits down there, but that's a separate video. So this is my warehouses that I've been working on, as you guys know. I haven't actually done any more to it. Yeah, it looks. I'm really pleased with it, Steve. Actually, I think that's it's been really cool. And actually, if I can get over, this is totally unprepared. You can actually see my matchsticks. So that's my matchsticks, like I just showed you. That was my piece of MDF. That's the matchsticks surround. And then obviously I decided to clad it with some plastic card, brick plastic card. So, and that was again using those techniques that I just showed you earlier. If I just move the engine shed out the way, I've literally cleared out the whole area. Yeah, I have weathered it, and it is a bit more streaky and patchy, which is what I wanted. But like I said, I've still got the shutters to do, which I haven't done. That was an old piece of corrugated wheel sheet that I had, and I just kind of bodged the canopy together. No, it's not laid on anything, to be honest. I've never laid it on anything. Even in Behringer, I never laid it on anything. Um, to me, I don't. It doesn't bother me, to be honest. Let's just put that back. So that's what we've got. So yeah, and then this was another little project that I did, which I think I showed you. I did a little video. I'm not sure if I should. Thank you, 2448 Toyman. And this is like an old Metcalf kit that was made out of card, and I've kind of put some plastic card on it, give it a bit of new lease of life, and that's come out quite well. I've actually added this siding as well, because that's going to be used for my coal train. So I'm going to have a couple of coal wagons here to drop off the coal at the staves, and then over at that my other scratch build will be to drop off the rest of the wagons for the locos to be coaled and shoveled onto the steamers. So that's kind of where we're at with that, and all of this here is also done using the similar card techniques. I've just used card and mod rock, and they're actually all modules, so they all come out in bits and pieces. So it's really kind of, that's how I was kind of working it. So if I just kind of come back here a minute, and I'm gonna switch you back around if I can. Oop. Right. Hopefully. Which one? The double decker? Let's see if this works. My my little stand is a little bit broken, to be honest with you. So that's why I'm gonna, it is a bit of a mess around. Right, okay. Right, so let me just show you. I'm going to just walk off and I'll show you how it's modular. So that's one piece. So this is, like I said, this is just literally, actually you could probably see it because it's hollow. So you can sort of see that it's one piece of card, and in the way that I've showed you, I've scored it to fold it one way, then I've scored it again to fold it again, and then I've tabbed it down. Thank you, Cheryl. And yeah, so that's kind of one of the bits, and that sits on. Yeah, well, and it's super light because it's just card. There's nothing in it. I'll show you the other one. Oh yeah, forgot about that. So this is the other bit. As you can see, that's another little lift out section. As you can see, it's just a flat piece of card on the bottom, just sits on the top, and you just work it on. Yeah, I do need, I'm not really good at that actually. Well, the thing is with doing it this way around is when you're working modules like this, it's easier to work with because you just sort of put it down on your workbench and you're just working on it as you're going along, rather than being sort of like humped over the layout or whatever, or being on your back underneath trying to do things. So that's something else that I've kind of working modules at the minute. I mean, the warehouses were made in bits. These two back pieces are made in bits. The only thing that's actually have I not had any sleep? To be honest with you, I have had sleep, but I'm lucky in the sense that my layout is literally here. It's in my my living space, and I don't have to go to a shed. I don't have to go to a garage. I don't have to go to a loft. And sometimes when you get home with the best intentions, you might want to go and do something on a layout, but then when you think about, oh, I've got to go into the shed, or I've got to go into the loft, and sometimes that kind of puts you off. And I'm not saying it does for all people, but Thank you, Zub. But for me, my layout is here to hand. And when I just get the urge to sort of go, well, you know, I fancy doing a little bit, then I've got this thing where I kind of do something every day. Every day I do something on the layout, even if it's just a tiny little bit, because it's something that wasn't there yesterday and it's moved the layout forward. Yeah, exactly. And some people, it's like, especially in this time of weather, you know, people don't go up in the loft because it's too hot. But then you go to the winter, then it's too cold. So then it's like Goldilocks. You've got to try and find the kind of right temperature to be able to go and do your modelling. Uh, so yeah, so to me, Behringer was always to hand. This layout is to hand. So I can do it in my gym jams. I can do it, you know, without makeup or whatever. You know, I don't have to be like worried about, you know, anything. You know, I don't have to go out in the cold or anything like that. It's just here to hand. So that's why I get on with it. And like I said, when I work in modules like this, a tip which I'll let you know, one of my things is I learnt from Behringer quite early on that I had to pick a spot, and that's how I got things done. I'm not saying it works for you guys, but it did for me, because I'd pick a spot before, and then I saw something and I go, oh, that doesn't belong here. I'll take it over there, and then I'll start messing around over there, and then nothing gets done. So what I tend to do is, if I'm going to do something, I'll pick a spot and I'll say, right, forget about that side. I'm not touching that side. I don't care about what's going on there. I'm focused on this side today, and then that's how I get more done. So that's how I kind of work. But like I said, it's because it helps you focus on what you're doing. And at the moment, I have a picture in my mind of what I'm going to be doing on these two boards. These two end boards now that you can see are the two end boards that I'm focusing on. The two other boards where the warehouses are, I've now kind of put on the back burner for a little while. But what I need to do, because I want to do some more scenery, I can't do any more until I've done the wiring. So yeah, and my pace is I guess it's quite quick, because I guess I'm impatient. I guess you know, I don't want to take 20 years to build a layout or whatever. The whole length is 13 foot, and I think it's like 2 meters per board. I think it's like, because what it is it's Wix's wallpaper paste tables, and there's 2 of them, and they're basically heavy duty ones. They do 2 types. They do not the standard one, and then there's the heavy duty. So I bought the heavy duty ones, and then I put a plywood top on it. And also they fold. So originally they fold like that. So they they're folded like that. So you carry it, and then you open them out, and then obviously the legs then drop down, and then that's what that is basically. But I need to put new legs on it because I want to separate the boards, and that's the point at where I'm at the moment, where I need to get all the wiring done to make sure that that all the boards are connected together electrically, because otherwise you'll have dead spots and you won't be able to connect the 2 boards together electrically to run the train. So that's where I'm at the moment. Okay, see you, Cheryl. Well, you take care now, and I'll speak to you on the next stream. And I've got your email to reply to as well at some point. Please do another pin of the layout. So much has changed. Okay. Right. Okay. So let me put this piece back, and then after we'll do another little layout tour. It's not going to take very long. So I'm back. So just before we go, so I don't trip over anything. Steve wanted to do another little layout tour. So before we go, because we've been going on for some time. Oh, sorry. Right, so this is the start of the board. And actually, I don't know if it'll come out, but I've actually started doing some drawing on the back because I'm trying to paint my own back scenes, which is one of the reasons why um, I wanted to do the kind of perimeter of the layout, because I want to do my own back scenes, but I needed to see how the foreground works so I can work the back scenes into the foreground, if you see what I mean. So if we kind of do it like that, we do an aerial shot. So what I'm going to do is going to put some coarse turf on here. I've also got some fencing which that needs to go on. That will go on there. We've also got a run round loop, so that's the run round loop. And I've also started to use the spacing here, and the spacing will be for the copper clad sleepers so I can join the two boards together. So we've got the station at this end, and we've got the turntable. Hello Richard, welcome to the stream. Don't worry for being late. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be going for much longer, to be honest. But so yeah, so we sort of see it like that, and then we've got the wall that runs around, which is it's done in the same way as the warehouses. And then what I've done is I've used clothes pegs to then hold it in place. Thank you. Thank you so much. I was a bit conscious actually that there was too much track on this side. The layout seemed to have too much track, so I wanted to have a bit of greenery. So that's why I took that out. So that's where that's going to go. All of this side here will be covered in cinders all the way down. So that's from Woodland Scenics, which is what I'm going to be doing. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for the comment. And I'm going to go walk around again. And basically, I've got the steam sheds here. I've got the coaling tower. Thank you, Richard. So I've got the steam shed here going on with the water tower, and which is another scratch build, which I've done. If I move that along, I've got this kind of bit in the middle here to deal with, so I'm not quite sure what's going to be going here. I really haven't really thought about that. But then again, this is the two boards. This is where it finishes for me at the moment. So I'm working from this side down, which is all the way down there. And that's where I'm working on at the moment. And this side here, I'm completely forgetting about for now. But that's going to be hard standing down that end anyway. And but here, I'm not quite sure what's going on here yet. That's the only bit of board which I'm not 100% certain on. So that's my Ford Hampton signal box, and as you can see, look, those are the two bits which I just pulled out and showed you. So that's how they marry up. And as you can see, the join, so that join marries up with the join that's on the split on the board all the way along. The nuclear fast terminal, yeah, I was going to have that, but then I kind of thought it's too much, and I had literally everything I wanted to cram in. Everything, if I could have crammed in Volma, which was going to be my freight terminal, I would have done that as well, but there just simply isn't enough room, so I have to kind of pick and choose. And I needed to sort of try and balance having scenery and track without having too much of either. So that's kind of what I've tried to do, and make the best out of the space that I have, and try and get as best play value that I can as well. No, well, basically, the story goes, well, no, I think I'm happy with how it is at the moment. Yeah, well, I'm going to swing back. Well, what the original track plan was based, I put up a video about going to Southampton and helping out on my friend's layout, who used to belong to a dear friend of mine who passed away. And I enjoyed running it so much that I wanted something similar. And hello Rob Farrell, welcome to the stream. It's nice to have you on board. Basically, this track plan has evolved so much since I did that video, and it is well worth a watch, because you'll see just how much the track plan has changed, because it was originally based on that track plan. Actually, let me just show you. I'll show you the fill yard if I can get there. Right, it's because I can't get to the back. So that's the fill yard at the back currently. So yeah, so that's the kind of the fiddle yard there. So if you just see the board, and let's go back round. Oh. So that's, yeah, so it's come on quite a long way. Yeah, I agree, but that's just because of the pace that I always work at. I was kind of like this at Behringer, and so that's the end of the board again. Right, so we're back to me. If I can get us to bear with me a second, folks. Hopefully we're back to me. Right, so that's my exercise. Well, what I was thinking of doing is a nice little idea which you can do is through running the run round loop that I have, you can bring a freight train in. Oh, hello, Gail Hall. Welcome to the stream. I didn't even notice that you turned up. So, welcome to the stream. So what you can do, for example, and in fact, I dare to demonstrate once again. Hang on a sec. Right, here we go. Right, ready? Right, let's go back round again. Right, so as you can see down the end there, that's where the train comes in. So a freight train could come in here, come in here, come in here, pull into the siding, and come round here, down to this one, and another train could add onto the back of it, take the wagons off that it needs to take to the warehouse, which is down that end, or the wagons to go to the siding for the coal or for here, and basically whatever wagons aren't needed can then just go back out, as if to say we're just dropping off a few wagons for this yard here, but we're going on to another yard, and you can just take it straight back out. That's one of the options. Or you can have like the passenger services just running along here. If it's a diesel, it can then use the run round to run round the coaches and then go back out that way. And then obviously steamers can then come in and be fueled and parked and turned around via the turntable, filled up via the coaling shed there, and then after parked up here in the main sheds here. And the diesels can just go off down the end to be fueled by the fueling point, and then obviously by the engine shed over there. So that's kind of how the layout works for now. And as you can see, you get to see my whole flat. Right. Have I glued that bridge and road to the back now? No. Actually, like I said, I'd actually showed. Actually, funny enough, Paul, I'd actually just showed earlier on in the stream that it's actually a modular unit, and I've just lifted it out, and basically, it's one of these plastic. Is it model scene? I think I want to say model scene or model zone. I think it's model scene tunnel portholes. And what I've done is I've then kind of weathered it up and done it like, I don't think it's quite as good as yours, to be honest, because I do love the way that you've done yours, but it's come out, I'm pretty happy with it, to be honest. And actually, if I just I'll quickly show you it again, because it is worth having a look at again. No, don't worry. Don't worry. Oh, crap. Right, okay. Right, so, as you can see, that's it there. Now, just to show you what the depth is like, if I just put that there, it does fit a whole lorry, so I don't know if you can see it. Just try and level it out a bit so you can actually see it does. Hello Kiwi British Rail, welcome to the stream. So yeah, so you can now see that it has got a bit of depth to it, but like Alan says, actually it could probably do with some sort of picture on the back here just to set it off. But like I say, you can see it's like a modular unit that I've made. You can see it's completely see-through. Yeah, the brickwork was basically a mixture of just what I had really, and I think it was just trying to blend the pieces in, because the two sides aren't actually from the actual tunnel mouth. They were from somewhere else, and I had to make them. I built them and scratch made, so I had to try and blend it all in, and it all mishmash of colours. So this is how I ended up doing it. Right. Yes. Right. So we've been going on for nearly enough an hour, and I guess we should call it quits, because this wasn't actually supposed to be that long a stream. It's kind of supposed to be a bit of a mishmash of things. Has anyone got any questions before we go, or would like to know anything or whatever? Please feel free to ask. My other video is out there. Does Tia Maria have a channel? No, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Maybe. Actually, Kev, I've actually got Sir Edward Elgar Class 50. Here, it's a Hornby one that I bought, super detailed. It's the original super detailed one that Hornby released. So I've got that green one. It doesn't have any sound or anything in it, but it does have a decoder in it. So yeah, I do have one of them. So I love my 50s, as you guys well know. But at the moment, I'm kind of really cracking on with the green side of things. So that's kind of... Thank you, Zub. Well, thank you for joining me tonight, and thank you everybody else for joining me tonight. It's been cracking, even I've had my bit of exercise for tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's good. I like doing live streams because I like it. You want to see my... Okay. You're pushing it now. Okay. Does anyone want to see a couple of my newbies? I've actually got 3, but basically I've got one of them is boxed away, and I can't remember where it is, to be honest. Because, okay, Richard, what have you done? So one of them I'm going to be making a special video on, and the other one I'm not. But that's not to say it isn't. Hello, bye Strathmore. Well, thank you for joining me tonight, and it's nice to see you again. So this is my first one, and this is are you using the Hornby Elite? I am, but I'm only using it, I don't know if you can see me, but there's a test track behind me, and it's used for the test track. I'm actually using a Gauge Master Prodigy Express, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So yeah, the Hornby Elite has been giving me issues, but it's still a good unit, but it's not really suitable for my layout. So no, I am using it for testing, which is easier. And like I said, I'm using that plug and play system. So here's the first new recruit. Night, Steve, welcome. Thank you for joining the stream tonight. No, it's not BR Blue, it's a two-tone green. And this is my Class 47. I do have one which I bought, which I've showed you before, which is the weathered version. This one's going to be kind of used more as a kind of like if I maybe do a heritage. I could use it for both, but I could probably use it as like if I did like a modern running day with heritage diesel galas or something like that. I could probably, because this one's like in pristine condition. Thank you, 244H Toy Man. We're trying to catch up with everybody. No, it's not that. No, unfortunately, these actually, funny enough, this particular 47 only turned up yesterday. I picked this up yesterday, so it only arrived yesterday, so I haven't had the chance. And also, I'm refusing to pay money for chips that I don't need to pay money for. Because I don't want to pay £20 for a chip, so I've been buying some Lay's chips off the internet, and they've been working really well for me. I've had a few issues with a couple of the Bachmann chips. Thank you, Fred. Thank you for joining me. Right, so I'm just going to put this one away. I'm going to put that to one side and I'll sort it out when I go off stream. Here's my other one. It's a lemur. I do like for Jan Butty, but no, I love my 47 too. So this is a barging I picked up off of eBay, and I'm going to do a very special video on this one because it's worth it. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. It's a bit like me, and it's a Southern Electric electro diesel unit, diesel loco, electro diesel loco. It's a BR green, class 73. Now, no, you can't fault a girl for trying, no. So this is a green 73, and the plan for this green 73 is, I did have, some of you, if you've got a long memory, will know that from Behringer that I actually had a blue Dapol 73, and it was giving me nothing but jip. It was so fussy with my track work, it absolutely disliked it. And I never really liked the Dapol version. I just don't think it looks very nice. I think the shape is wrong on the Dapol 73, I'll be honest. I just, there's something about the shape that I just don't like. And I'd rather buy this old Lima one because the shape is much better. Bye, Steamer Model Railways, thank you for joining in. And basically, this 73, you can only get this colour. And in fact, I didn't even know they did this colour, but I found this one on eBay. And I only paid 35 quid for it. And it is analogue. But what I'm going to do is I've got a 73 just over there, which you might have seen. Well, this has cost me 35 quid, which is nothing these days. Some Lima locomotives I would stay away from. Like I said, I wouldn't touch a Lima 33 because I think they just look absolutely awful. But that's just my opinion. So I don't want to disrespect anyone who's got one, by the way. But to me, I can't stand them, I don't think. Right. Oh, really? Well, I had problem lighting issues with mine, and it just didn't like the track work, and I just thought, no. So I bought this one, and it's in BR green. It's not that kind of really in your face green, that kind of light green. It's this really nice BR green. I'm going to respray the roof because I've got a picture of it, and the roof is actually wrong. It's grey all the way around, whereas on the end you can see that the ends are green. So I'm going to respray the roof. I'm also going to swap the body over to put it onto the Hornby chassis because that's got the better couplings on it, and it's also got an 8-pin decoder on it already fitted inside that. So, and I'm going to, and I don't know if you guys know, but Legoman Buffo do sound for the Class 73, and I want to put sound onto this 73 because it's an electro diesel and it's something that I don't have on the layout. It's very unique. No, it's just a standard green. Let me just sort of show you. The other thing I want to do, so I want to put the sound in it, and I also am going to paint the buffer beams red like I've got in the picture, and I'll show it to you when I do it, because I'll do a special video on it. And I'm also going to get rid of these buffers, and I can put the oval ones on it that it did actually have when it came. So the reason why for my 73s is when I was a kid, I didn't only just have a love of trains, I had a love of planes. And my parents used to live in Fulham, and I used to go to Victoria and catch the Gatwick Express and travel the Gatwick Express over to Gatwick and watch the planes and travel behind. At the time, they were run by Class 73s, and it was on a push-pull service. And they used, I can't remember what they're called on the back of it. There used to be like is it a 419 or something like that. Yeah, well, what I'm going to do is I'm not sure what, because I know that Legoman Buffo do sound for the 73. I think they do it for the 8-pin, but they also do it for the Dapol. So I need to make sure that I get the right one, obviously. This one is an old Lima, so this one has to be hardwired. But because I'm not going to be putting sound into this particular chassis, I'm going to swap the other body over. So, and then leave that as just DCC ready, DCC fitted, sorry, I should say. No, I didn't. No, I didn't go to the DRS open day. No, it's too far for me, and it's something I wasn't really overly interested in. Right, so now we've been going for over an hour. That is 2 of my newbies. There is a third one around, but it's somewhere, I don't know where it is, to be honest, because I packed it away because of all the engineering work I was doing this weekend. There's no trains this weekend, there's only buses. So I'd like to say thank you very much for joining me tonight. I'd like to thank you for your continued support and all the messages. That's something else. On my last stream, after my, how shall we say, haphazard, miscellaneous live stream, the messages of support that I got was absolutely immense, and I just can't thank each and every one of you enough for sticking by me and your messages of support and saying how much you enjoy the content and all the rest of it. And like I said, thank you so much for staying with me, and I will speak to you all very... Could I quickly show the layout? Okay, right, one last time. I'm just going to put that module back, and then we'll do one last flying visit. Usually a layout tour is like once a year. Thank you. Well, I'm just going to do one last flyby, and then that's it. Right, so we start at this end. Trees, rocks and scenery, vegetation was all salvaged from Beringer. The road vehicles were also brought over from Beringer. The rock faces are also from Beringer. So a lot was salvaged. The buildings, these buildings were salvaged from Beringer. We then got the turntable, which is new. Don't worry about that, that's in the wrong place. No problem, Alan. Thank you for joining in, and Kev, thank you for joining in. Again, this is the curved wall which I showed you how to make earlier. So that's the turntable. That's the steam engine sheds. That is the coal and water loading area. And if I go round again, you can see how the modules just slide into the back wall. So they all go back into the back wall, and they all follow the lines of the joins, as you can see, all the way along here. So that's where the board separates on one of the boards. And then that piece at the back there goes off to the fill yard. And then also we have down this end the steam area, the diesel area, and the warehouses. So basically that is it. That is the layout in its entirety. It's not anywhere near as big as it used to be, but it's big enough for me, to be honest. So just before we go, goodbye, farewell, au revoir, bonne nuit to all, one and all, and thank you so much. And I'd like to say thank you for your continued support, and bye. And I really do appreciate you joining me tonight. It's been a wonderful stream as always. I've been very lucky. I mean, despite the one stream that went a bit pear-shaped, all my announced streams that I've done has always turned up with just fantastic people, fantastic comments, and people just getting on with one another, which is what I wanted. To be honest with you, I don't really want moderators and things like that on my streams, because I like to believe in the people who are joining my streams that they are good and honest and decent people, that there's no need for them. And you guys have just proven it tonight. So thank you.